Good afternoon. Hope you're all okay. Just going to make sure we're broadcasting okay. Bundesliga just about to begin. I think it's more, well, there's business at both ends to be concluded. So we're going to be looking with interest, maybe target some of those late draws, particularly. There's only a couple of matches remaining this season. So I'm just going to get to the broadcast. Hopefully, I'm not talking to myself. And we're up and going. So a quick hello in the chat if you're up and about. Hi Stephen, nice to see you. Great, so we're up and going. So let's take a first look at the stats. I thought I'd take on this 3-0 lead from, just got a problem with the phone. 3-0 lead from Valencia because two of their goals were penalties. 1.02 is far too short, just with that in mind, but Getafe are poor. It's a bet to nothing. You can see they don't score. Fair enough, but 2-3 last time for Valencia, so they do concede second half, but it's a bet to nothing, that one. Just looking at the potential for goals here in the Danish First Division. So I hope everything's still okay. Hi March Meadow, nice to hear from you. Thanks a lot. So just looking at the initial ones, and we'll bring the Bundesliga in as well. Favourite away from home in the Extraklasse has conceded the first goal. Not a strong favourite, 2.2, but 6 corners to 2, 38 dangerous attacks to 15. Possibilities here. Pogon, look at where they are as well. 4th in the Extraklasse, always knocking on the door of Champions League football. That's the big carrot there. So keep an eye on that match. Are you motivated, particularly with Radomiak's 3 consecutive draws recently? 2 consecutive 2-2s as well. So that's one to keep an eye on. The motivation of Champions League football. Como, I thought I'd have a go at this one. It is a bit of a dead rubber, but you can look for yourself with Cesc Fabregas' side. You can see the 5 W's in front of you there. Knocking on the door of the top 10 would be a magnificent finish for the newly promoted Como, and it would boost Cesc Fabregas no end at all. They'll have a difficulty holding on to him, I think, at the end of this season. So with that in mind, Cagliari are pretty much safe. I don't think it's a bust a gut, must get 3-pointer for them. I've got a feeling they've just about done the job. So for me, it's all about recent momentum. It's all about the manager wanting to keep that winning streak going and to bow out nicely in front of home support. The stats are in our favour. The only negative here, be prepared to lose money if you're going to be playing dead rubbers at this stage of the season. Where's the carrot? Where's the stick? I suppose top 10 football and keeping that momentum going is the carrot for Cesc Fabregas. So I'm on. Hopefully we can get that equaliser. They have been in electric form. Want to keep that up. Union Berlin Heidenheim, well, there's plenty going on still at both ends of the table in the Bundesliga. Nothing is yet finalised, with about 2 matches to go, apart from the top 2. Their squabble is over last week, but not even Frankfurt are safe yet, or Freiburg, or Dortmund, or Leipzig, or Mainz, or Werder Bremen, or outside chance Mönchengladbach. They're going to have to win their 2 consecutive matches and hope Dortmund lay down and lose their 2 consecutive matches. Ditto Leipzig. So it's highly unlikely for Mönchengladbach. So we're stuck with Eintracht Frankfurt through to Werder Bremen with that carrot of it could be anything. Champions League football, couldn't it? Frankfurt with just another slip up could let Freiburg in if they can carry on with that kind of form. Even at the bottom, there's still plenty to be playing for. Just remember, there's 2 matches remaining. So for Bochum, take a point away, they're on 22. Add 6, they're on 28, and they will grasp that relegation playoff place. That's the only real thing they've got going for them. Hoffenheim are safe. St. Pauli are safe, I would suggest, with a draw today. Excellent season for them. I think they'll be safe with a draw. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Maybe not. Definitely with a win, they're out of it. The squabble at the bottom here is for this relegation playoff place, the last grasp to stay up. So even Bochum are in with a shout. So look for the potential for draws to be ending late with that bottom three. They've got to align themselves well, and even second to eighth align themselves well today for the last match of the season. And then they'll know what they have to do last match of the season. Get the job done today, get those W's on the board. Hopefully we'll miss out on the draws. Plenty of motivation, isn't there, in the Bundesliga? So that's going to work out nicely. We're waiting for Como. And we just look at our other sides. These are the main watch lists at the moment. 3 o'clock, of course, is going to get busy, busy, busy. Hope you're all okay. Hi, Paul. Nice to hear from you. Just to let you know, it's rainy season here now, and hopefully the Wi-Fi will stay, but it can be affected by heavy rain. It suddenly starts the first week of May, and off we go all the way to October now. So hopefully I'll be okay. KUPS, keep an eye on them this season. They've already been a trader's friend. Not today though, alas. Far too solid 3-0 against KTP. But they already twice this season they've got us a couple of good trades. They are a side to be with throughout the summer. Secunda League, well, this stage of the season, these second tiers are worthy of our attention, aren't they? Because they've got the promotion playoffs to think about, all dependent, of course, where they are, whether they can capture it. The Chavs up in 6th place, Maritimo in 12th. I think this is more looking for points to avoid the relegation, it seems. The 1-0 lead for the favourites, though, doesn't really interest me at the moment. Allsvenskan, 2 of the lesser lights, but 3 wins and a draw for Bromma. It's a pretty decent start to the season. Odds on at home, I always keep an eye on odds-ons at home. Can often farm them well. Vasteros, GIF, Sundsvall. I would suggest a superette in this season for you this summer is going to be a gold league. So be looking for that kind of an angle, unless you've got the confidence to trust these sides. They're not the most trustworthy sides in the world. Turkish 1 League. We'll look at that more second half. We need to see how many matches are remaining this season in the Turkish 1 League. Again, that's got the pressure of going up to the Turkish Super League, as we saw last season. So we'll just pick out a match, and then we'll see how many matches are remaining. Just give us an idea of whether we've got an interest today. This looks to be the last match of the season, so yes, this will be a second half interest for us. I'm not going to get too excited early on. We want to use the pressure for those in need. Now hopefully we've got the live standings for this Turkish Super League. It's an exciting last day of the season trading. Try to use time pressure. So we're looking for the second half of the second half for sides with desperate need for points. So let's just have a look, have a sneak peek at how things stand at the moment. So there's no arrows yet. 3 consecutive defeats at the top. The top 2. Well, if Karagümrük score a few more, they could get that goal difference up. But no, that's them with a win. So they look like they're up. Because this is them at their highest, isn't it? All winning. So that's the highest points they can get. So there's no major panic just yet. But Igdir, look at their goal difference with Boluspor. If they can turn that around, that could be one to look at second half. particularly coming off the back of 3 consecutive wins. Similar story, Ahmed Sport with, well, not really. The goal difference is negative. So I'd be looking at Igdir here, focusing on them. And at the bottom, Manisa and Ankaragucu. So we've got our 3 main ones. There's Igdir just equalising. Oh, man. Just as I've sussed them out, I didn't know they were losing. That's how we try to play these last days of the season. We're looking for these sides with extreme need. Igdir, you can see they're breathing ever closer to that top 7 spot. Sanliaspor and Manisa. So those would be the other 2. Manisa there, Sanliaspor here. So they're behind, but they're not expected to win today. Might surprise, you never know. This is the kind of draw we'd be looking to end. So I get rid of these. I think the only reason I've got these noted is because they're odds on favourites. But we're sticking to the teams with interest. We've got an opening goal for Heidenheim. And there's the equaliser for Perry for Cesc Fabregas' side. And this is your first potential out. But what I like to do is to always leave you with that enticement of taking a small hit on the draw and a small hit on the insurance in the hope of enticing you to win that 57 quid or as near as damn it to it. But this is your first exit point if you wanted to cash out with the first half not even concluded. Off you go. I do like first half goals, but it does leave you set up nicely for the second half now. Half-time team talk from Cesc. Let's keep that winning run going. Keep the momentum. Front of home support. Let's get that top 10. Let's nail that. Second half. They've got nothing to play for. Bang. We can get that 2-1 for Como. With a whole half to go. Is it well worth staying in for, do you think? You're willing to take a 10 quid hit for a £57 profit? Or you're going to take the 18 quid and bank it? Up to you. So I'll leave that decision. It's called options at exit, and the decision has to be yours and yours alone, alas. Well, Getafe's recovery, I can't see it, but this is what happens when you lay at 1.02. But really, having scored 2 penalties in the first half, 1.02 is ridiculous. Has to be laid. False hope, perhaps. A cushy 3-0 lead, thanks to the ref, for the 8th and 37th minute goals. Vin Diesel and Koj, it's not top priority to lay the late draw here. I just thought this league is normally renowned for goals, so it could be something for you to potentially dig out late on. It was 0-0 last time these two met on the 4th of April, so that's a potential negative there. If you are going to play, 1.09, 1.06, obvious plays. Again, it's a second tier, so there is that potential. Well, no, this is the relegation round, so it's split into 2. This is 4th and 5th in the relegation round. So, and well, it's academic now. The goal has been scored. So that's the reason I was looking at this. There's always potential to take these 0-0s on in leagues where you know there are goals. We had some goals coming in, or did we? No. Oh, that's Besteros. Okay, hope you're all okay. Goal for Como, says Michael Baker. Yeah, so it's your opportunity. Hi, Bosun, nice to see you. Opportunity, Michael, to cash out if you wanted, or can you trust Cesc Fabregas to do the job second half? Look at that pressure. This is the advantage of in-play stats in a dead rubber. Just give you that hint that you can get involved, and that, of course, does no harm at all. Neither does the opponent having nothing at all to play for. So let's just have a walk through. I don't think Getafe will be winning 3-4, alas, having backed them at 460 earlier on. Bang goes my early Christmas retirement. There's that goal. So do watch out. Leagues where you know have got a reputation for goals. You can find all of these stats here if you'd like. That bloke uses soccer stats, as you can see there. Go to the leagues or just stats. Look for the goal stats. Probably leagues, I think, would be better. And you're looking for the goals. 2.5. I think this can be salt. So, or you can go with Denmark, Control and F. Denmark, I think the first division must be up there or thereabouts, but 59% over 2.5 goals in the Superliga. First division 53%, but note that over 1.5 goals, 75%. So 3/4 of matches will end with at least 2 goals. So there's always potential to take on those late plays. You can check out the stats as you'd like at soccerstats.com. Sundsvall and Västerås, early season Superettan, as I say, I prefer to play neutrally via goals. And with that in mind, possible play here would be over 2.5 goals with the likelihood of Västerås equalising. But if you can trust Västerås, you can see they're 1.95 pre-match favourite away from home. You can see 5 shots on, 5 shots off, 2 corners. Do use the momentum you've seen that they got done at the end of the first half, despite dominating the half, as you can see there, in 2 bursts there, and then they suddenly got done with a late burst from Sundsvall. Possibility second half if you can trust this league. Neutral is always best. Union Berlin and Heidenheim, as the goals come in, we can always check their impact on proceedings. So let's check Union Berlin and Heidenheim. So I'll go to the live section here. And I've starred pretty much everything because I want to know the goals as they come in so I can check the individual matches themselves to make sure these goals are they impactful? Does the opponent have to respond? I think it's mid-table mediocrity for Union Berlin. They can't be caught, I don't think, by Heidenheim. 2 matches remaining, don't forget. So Heidenheim are doing what they need to do, getting that win. Next stage is to win next week if St. Pauli cock it up today. So it's all very intriguing. But Union Berlin, as you can see, mid-table mediocrity, nothing really to motivate them, but plenty to motivate Heidenheim. So I would not be taking on that Heidenheim lead unless it's squeaky bum time, 90 minutes, that kind of thing. Lack of confidence perhaps in holding on. Look at that, all done before half time. Cesc Fabregas for Prime Minister. Now is your cash out. If you want a tranquil second half, if you're willing to get rid of 17 quid, don't forget that's only potential profit. This is not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. This is guaranteed now if you take it. Absolutely guaranteed on all outcomes. Take away your insurance premium, £4.40, and you're coming away with 36 quid. And the first half is finished. Perry Como has done the job. Cesc Fabregas has done the job. No need for that team talk at half time. You have options at exit, don't forget. Now, if you've got a tool like Fairbot, you can use variable profit dutching like this. Go on Cagliari, go on the draw. Don't forget you're losing £4.40. So if you want to be pernickety, you can look to win a £5 on the draw. That way you're literally break even if this ends a draw or if Cagliari happen to win. How much of Como's profit are you sacrificing in order to bring this outcome about? Doesn't look like much, does it? We're still above 50 quid and we've got rid of that £39 as well. And we've covered the lost insurance premium on the 1.5. I like that outcome. That gives me peace of mind now. And don't forget that 41 will always be there in the background if you change your mind. Particularly we're coming to half time, so there's no need to panic at all. You can use the whole half time to think. That for me is a very decent outcome for the sake of £8. If I can get that draw covered, everything is sorted. So I'll leave that hopefully to get covered. And in the meantime, that 41 remains always available to me coming to half time. Well done, Cesc Fabregas. Well done, Como. a side to follow if they can keep Cess next season. I don't think so. Some of the big boys will be sniffing around Mr. Fabregas. But if I was him, I would use Como as a project. Could be an excellent start to a fruitful managerial career. If he can get them above the top 10 next season, keep the quality players that he's got. They work for him, obviously. We will see in the summer. So job done there. Let's just work our way through. We're coming to, well, 3 o'clock. We're 9 minutes away from the 3 o'clocks. I can get rid of this now. We were just looking to see whether that draw would end, weren't we? And Radomir, Radom and Pogon. Just keep an eye on Pogon. Favourites pre-match, but not the strongest favourites on the planet. You can tell it's a very, very tight match. Almost exact shots on and shots off. Corner count is relatively low. Slight increase in dangerous attacks from the side in fourth. We haven't actually checked their European credentials yet. And we can do that here by going down to check the live standings for this particular match. Do Pogon actually have anything to really get them going second half? Well, for me, look at that. All depends on the amount of matches left this season as well. That's where soccer stats will come in handy. You can just go to the Ekstraklasse here. We'll do our Carol Vorderman maths. How many matches remaining? They're all on 31. So let's just click on one. 3 matches remaining. So no panic stations just yet. But realistically, there's only that 3rd place, which is Champions Conference League qualifier for Pogon, which is a huge carrot for a team of that size. Or that would be superb, wouldn't it? 3 wins in 4. They've got the pressure. They've got the winning formula. Radomiak, Radom. They're breathing okay. How many matches was it? 3 or 4? Let's have a look. 3, 9 points. 9 points. So 28 plus 9, 37. So they can get to Witzow, but the negative goal difference, that lot looks safe. Radomiak, obviously safe now. Not going to be troubling the judge at the top. So Pogon have the motivating factor today. It's all a matter of whether you trust the Polish Ekstraklasa and whether I've made a case for favouring the away side to get that equaliser. We will see. But the general rule is the dodgier the league and the teams you don't really know at all. I couldn't name you a single Pogon player at all. But there's plenty of motivation to get an equaliser. 3 matches remain. European ambition. Holstein Kiel have opened the scoring against Freiburg. I think both teams have motivating factors today. Who did the market favour? That's the important first port of call. Normally get that hovering here. Well, it's the Freiburg who are the favourites, but Holstein Kiel, I think, have taken the lead. So how important is this? I think it's more important. Well, it's important at both ends of the table, I would say, with such a tight European standings battle. Any slip up could leave that Champions League spot vulnerable for Freiburg, couldn't it? This is your archetypal lay the late draw. Both teams in extreme need. And as I've already explained to you, Holstein Kiel's job today is to get that win and then line up next week for an assault at 16th spot. St. Pauli won't be dropping points, will they? But Holstein Kiel with a win today, 28, 29, 30, 31. Still can't trouble St. Pauli on goal difference. But they can trouble Heidenheim for that relegation playoff spot. Freiburg need to trouble the judge to secure that Champions League spot. Dortmund breathing down their necks with 4 wins in 5. Leipzig, ditto, similar points, 1 point away. You could see the pressure on Freiburg. So watch out, I think, from an in-play stats perspective, and whether Freiburg can trouble this Holstein Kiel side. I think what we did the other day with this 1-3 against Augsburg actually had it all covered. Remember, we were expecting an Augsburg recovery, but I got all of this covered. I got 1-3 covered, 1-2 covered. I got both teams to score no covered for the 0-3. Uh, well, I don't know how on earth I got out of there unscathed. But that just reminds you that two goals, 2 goal lead for Holston Kiel is a possibility. So maybe a neutral play second half, I don't know. Just need to see whether Freiburg have a greater carrot than Holston. It's very tough. You can make as equal an argument for sticking with it with the win, can't you? For both teams to score no, therefore, if you're going to take on a Holston Kiel, he scored 3 consecutive goals last time against Augsburg. Bochum and Mainz, you can see Mainz's struggles as well. They're in those European places. They've got to get a result. Werder Bremen and Leipzig having that similar squabble as well. So it's brewing up nicely today in the Bundesliga. Unlike the Premier League, where there's very little to interest apart from the European element for a couple of clubs, and that's about it, really. There's always that argument about prize money, but I don't think that's a strong argument. Let's just bring up some odds on favourites for the 3 o'clocks. 1.55 Cercle Brugge. Well worth keeping an eye on. Jablonec odds on against Sigma Olomouc. So we'll see whether I like odds on at home as well. Premier League, I don't know if I'll be spending too long on this, but Man City would like to maintain the 3 points. Perhaps from a motivation perspective, Wolves would like to be keeping that winning run going. Take away the Man City 1-0 loss, and it is an impressive run. But looking a little deeper, 3 of the bottom 3, and Man United and Tottenham. So it just masks things a little. Brentford would like to keep a 3-match winning streak going. I would suspect goals before half-time in Ipswich matches. Playing at home, of course, nothing to play for. That's the problem. Just lacks that motivating factor for me. Fulham and Everton, well, you know what you're going to get with David Moyes. Boys, strangle the life out of them, try to nick a 1-0 late on. But there's absolutely no strong angles. We've got FC Inter. I think one of the top, no, that's FC Inter, the top 4 at the moment. Having a good season. Be keeping an eye on them in the Veikkausliiga, which is one of our summer leagues. Greek Super League, Panathinaikos odds on away from home. Worth an eye on that one. And Levadiakos, no thank you, 2.6 in the Greek Super League. There's Como's 2-1 lead. Side worth following if they can keep Cesc Fabregas next season. Stick them in your notebook. Very, very good trading side, particularly when they turn up. And the stats suggest they'll turn up. Good stuff. So we're just getting prepared. SPL, it's all academic, isn't it, really? Celtic and Hibs. Maybe European places, but this is split, hasn't it, already, to Championship and relegation. Hearts, again, when they're odds on favourite, they tend to deliver. That's the general rule this season for Hearts. So keep an eye on them, particularly if they concede first today. They're playing a Motherwell with 2 consecutive wins, with both teams scoring. So we do have a possible angle there. They are a good trading side. They did lose at odds on against Dundee, but they were red carded. But as I say, a good trading side, i.e. if you took insurance out, they rewarded you. So watch out for Hearts, odds on. Keep an eye on them. We can't play the lower tier playoffs, alas, in Scotland. Just a liquidity issue. That's the main element there. We've got a La Liga match. But, oh, that's coming to an end. Okay, so that's 1.02 lay. Not quite troubling the judge. But if we can keep to the quality of Como today, we will be doing rather nicely. And we'll be waiting second half, of course, to use the time pressure for the Turkish 1 League. So 3 o'clock's about to come on board. They're going to be a little barren with all of the Championship League 1, League 2 disappearing. Hopefully I can find a trade or two, and we can also veer off and have a look at the tennis as well. Maybe just show you around tennis24.com. So our 3 sides for the second half. Igdir could do with turning that. We missed the equaliser, which is a pity. We could do with that draw turning into a win second half. So that draw could be vulnerable second half. The later the better. Similar story for Manisa, I believe. Need to end that draw. San Liurf Aspor, not odds on. Need to end that. So Erzurumspor might be the value here. We're not expecting anything at all from Sanliurfspor. So let's have a look at that one. Erzurumspor. So let's give that a go. There we go, got matched. So that's nice now, isn't it? It's an effective break even if it happens to end in a draw. But of course, the wise man, I think, would take, well, and woman, would take the £41. So where were we going? San Liurfspor. Let's try that. Just for the hell of it, because we're going to get very, very low odds. Don't forget, it's a 1.3 favourite pre-match. But desperate needs. There we go. So why not just play up some of your Perry Como winnings? And again, it's going to be low risk. It's funny what happens at this stage of the season. The market does not expect anything at all. But they know they've got home advantage today. Just a little glimpse at a win could leave them feeling rather happy. So I'll just drop this down to £1 and we can just leave this alone. If we get an alert that it's 1-1, fabulous. We're not expecting a win at all. The market had Erzurum, who are probably in desperate need themselves of a point or two. So we'll keep an eye on that. And the Turkish Super League, we'll just check how many matches are remaining there. Every league really is up for a trade at this stage of the season. Uniform, well, it's heading towards 33, so we'll be looking at 32s who are probably playing today. And they have 4 matches remaining, so we don't really have that pressure just yet in the Super League. And it's just too early to use time pressure, isn't it, at the moment? So let's take a look through. Second half is 10 minutes in. Have I made a good enough argument for you for Pogon? Just make sure you are okay over on YouTube. Yeah, Michael, hope you've cashed out before halftime, or whatever you do, Michael. Just make sure you see if you can get rid of that liability on Cagliari. So Pogon, do they have that fight? They're coming in spurts, aren't they? You can see those 3 peaks in the momentum graph coming in spurts, but not being rewarded just yet. They've got the motivating factor. Radomiak Radom very little to play with at the end of the season. So just wait for them to warm up. We're looking for that attacking pressure index to warm up as well. If you fancy to play based on need, you're with the away side with a potential equaliser to push on and get the win. So that normally would give them a little more pressure to get a goal before the hour mark, but not quite setting the world alight just yet. Allsvenskan 0-0 at half time. It's a little too early in the Allsvenskan season, but it is again one of our summer leagues, so well worth you're just keeping an eye on early season patterns if there are any. The challenge table's probably not accurate just yet, although it's going to warm up nicely. As we get to double figures, you'll have a more accurate representation. For example, Djurgården have been involved in Europe against Chelsea, so they've been distracted. That is false. They will be making a charge up the table now that Chelsea have dispatched of them, alas. So early season, we've got the form side Brummer coming into this 3 wins in 4, and at home in their 2 home matches have conceded 2 goals already. But the problem is the challenge table is not accurate, as I've just said. So Halmstad, you don't know whether this is a true 7th place. If it is, this lot are vulnerable, aren't they? Will rarely score that second goal. only wins against the early season bottom two. Similar story for this lot though, really. So very little for us to get our teeth into, which is why I don't tend to research just yet. Still warming up. Both teams have scored in the last three Halmstad matches. Only one clean sheet, so the possibility of ending at 0-0. 3 0-0s opened this season for Bromma, and all of them ended with at least 2 goals. All of their 0-0s at half-time have seen at least 2 goals for Bromma. So is that an angle for the second half? Up to you. 1.95. Coming to the second half. If we're talking purely neutral, we'd be looking at goals, wouldn't we? But it's without much confidence. But it's an early season pattern, however. Right, I'm not going to have to spell that lot out, am I? How about Halmstad? Let's try. Halmstad. There we go. Bromma Pochkana. So you could either lay the draw in the hope that they keep conceding 2 goals, but you can see it's a bit of an illiquid match, isn't it? Unless something has just occurred to mess up the market. But boy, is it having trouble here. Look at that. It's going to be a more liquid league once Betfair Football Traders are starved of our European leagues. But this is woeful, isn't it? Huffing and puffing. I thought it would be quite good as an alternative or in addition to. If you're looking at that 2-goal element, wow, it's very short, isn't it? Evens. Oh, because a goal's just been scored. There we go. So, didn't get there in time. What a pity. Now we've got, that's why I prefer neutral. If we'd have got on that 2.5 goals, second half, gone all the way up to 4.5. And it doesn't matter who scores. Ideally, if the underdog scores, it's going to work its way nearly back down to the start. So it's a really good play for you neutral players. That's the way I would attack the Allsvenskan with these kind of sides early on. Look for a potential neutral play. Would have got a nice trade out there as well. So I missed the trick, but it's a 1.95 home favourite. But they are conceding 2 goals. Hardly trustworthy, are they? 1.95 or 1.55 were they pre-match? Couldn't have been that low. Thought they were 1.95. So there we go. You've got a potential trade there if you fancied it. We've got a few goals coming in. There's that Halmstad goal. Yes, indeed, 1.55. So if you're looking at that purely from the market's perspective, then I can talk you through it if you fancied it. But neutral would have been better, wouldn't it? Neutral, 2.5 goals. So you can do that yourself. Half times, that's what those 15 minutes are there for. Head off to Soccer Stats. Check the early season patterns. You see conceding 2 goals and regularly Bromma laying over 1.5 goals. This is just a throwaway play. +1. Again, it's this is suggesting a Bromma win. That's what the market's suggesting. So I have to go match odds here. There's not much. Oh, it's coming on board now. So this is just a throwaway play. It's up to you if you want to follow me in. This is based purely on the market. A 1.55 favourite conceding the first goal. But Lord knows, 3 wins in 4 though. But they do concede. Or is that Halmstad's concede? So that's backing Bromma, half stake, laying Halmstad's half stake as liability. Again, trying to get a small loss on the draw to tempt you into a bigger profit on Bromma should we get an equaliser. But neutral for me in the Allsvenskan and Superettan, I think, will be something I'll be working on this summer. So let's have a look. We don't have the in-play stats. We might have them here. We'll have a look at the Halmstad goal as well. Was it a lucky goal? No. Andre Agassi, the ex-tennis player, getting the goal there. Fabulous stuff from him. Hopefully these stats are working. It's been a very, very quiet match. Total shots 9, but 1 shot on target for Bromma. That's why I prefer neutral. Here we go. 1 shot on, 4 off. 4 block shots, 7 inside the box. I do like that. Hit the woodwork once. That's interesting. But second half, we need that response. Not seen it just yet. Mariehamn and Inter is 1-0. We might have a play there if you trust the early season top 4 in the Vice-Kausliga. So we'll have a look at Bromma. We'll see whether they can get that equaliser. Can you trust 1.55 shots in the Allsvenskan early season? We will find out. We're a bit blind with the in-play stats missing there. But you do have that backup of soccer24.com. So let's have a look through. Coming to half-time. Where is the desperate need? Well, I would suggest that all of these European sides, Werder Bremen, Leipzig, Mainz, do have that carrot of European football. They're all up for Champions League footy, let's be honest. They're all up for it if Eintracht Frankfurt cock it up. So these draws should be vulnerable second half. That's what I would expect. We are coming up to 10 minutes or more into the Premier League. Not much interest from a carrot and stick perspective. Celtic 1.33. Are they going to deliver before half time as they normally should do at those odds? But it's a complete dead rubber. Hearts odds on today. Can they be trusted? Man City still have a bit of a carrot. Champions League, just to confirm that, or put the nail in, or keep that 5-match plus winning run going. This is what I'm talking about. FC Inter against Mariehamn. It's very, very early in the season. We've got a 1.42 favourite, missing the in-play stats again. Hopefully this will be sorted out for the summer, because these are our summer leagues and they're missing the in-play stats. But it looks as if we're getting some on board for the Superetta, but we do need them. So maybe we need to have a think or have some correspondence with In-Play Guru just to confirm we get our summer leagues covered. Mariehamn and Inter, we can have a look at the Vice-Kausliga. It's already sorting itself out. The sides you need to look out for are KUPS, SJK, and they happen to be top 2. They have already provided you with a couple of trades each early season. Inter Turku are 4th, as you can see, unbeaten at the moment. So we'll have a look at their match. They are a goal down to Mariehamn. We've only got a small sample to work off, but is it going to give you something to think about? And again, the challenge table won't be that accurate, will it? It'll only reflect on the best teams after the first 5 matches, so it's not accurate at all. Mariehamn, though, they are leading, but they have scored in the last 2 home matches. And indeed a 2-0 lead at half-time against Ilves, and that was quickly recovered before the hour mark. And then we had a Desmond Tutu come in very quickly. Got a 1-2 against SJK. That's one we traded, as I told you. SJK and KUPS already traders' friends this season. Both teams have scored in 3 of the last 4 for Mariehamn, so Inter Turku can open the door up for a potential second half play. Looks like they concede second half as well. 2-0 at half time, conceded 2 goals second half, conceded 2 second half, conceded 1 second half. So they do look vulnerable today, Mariehamn. Inter Turku look like they're cruising at the moment. They've not met any of the big boys. Well, they have, KUPS. That was a big tussle to start the season. That was a 1-1. So that already lays the foundation for what we should expect against this lot. 3-0 against Guiniston, 2 second half goals with home advantage, 1 second half. 2 second half and 1 second half. So they are adept at scoring second half. Inter Turku, if you fancy this one, they'll have some potential shock results. Look at the beating of 3rd in the league, 3-2 for Mariehamn. That's the potential shock I'm talking about. So up to you if you fancied that one. We don't have the stats, so we'll have to go and have a quick look here. So let's have a look at Interturku and Mariehamn. If we can get over evens about Interturku after only 16 minutes, well, we are here, but can we get it at Betfair? Do you trust this slot early season? It is a top 4 clash, which is interesting, but 3 defeats in 4 for Mariehamn. So that is false, isn't it? This lot are unlikely to be in the top 5 at the end of the season. So that's why we can't trust the challenge table. HJK, for example, might improve. They should be top 2. So we're expecting something from Interturku here. But do you trust the league? I've lost my mouse. There it is. So Freiburg has got the equaliser. It was a bit of a tussle, wasn't it? Do you think that Holstein Kiel can do what they did last week and get that equaliser? Or no, score 2 consecutive goals, don't forget. Yeah. So that was our worry in that particular match. It's now 1-1. That draw will be vulnerable second half for that Champions League spot to look out for Freiburg, and trying to get into that last playoff relegation place for Holstein Kiel. You're getting over evens for Interturku, again in a slightly illiquid market, but if you're following the odds and if you can trust, it's a little bit too early in the season, but well, that underlines the expectation for goals in this one. 1.08. We're starting to see some goals coming in the Bundesliga as well, with those Champions League sides, as we'd expect. So the insurance, you'll have to go straight to the match odds and split your stake into 2. You can back 1.42 shot after 18 minutes at 2.18 against a side conceding 2 goals very, very readily. And you can also lay quite a high odds, 7-1, 8-1 pre-match, and a reasonable but slightly illiquid 3.6 or thereabouts. Now, it's not as compelling a profit as you saw with Como, was it? Because Inter is such short prices. The caveat here, of course, early season can see those shocks. You've seen Mariehamn beating 3rd already, so you have been warned. Como would have been a stronger play. They've got the form in the book, haven't they? So let's work our way through. Looks like Man City are brewing up nicely. Celtic, if you fancy to play before half-time for Celtic, it is a dead rubber-ish. 3 shots on, 3 shots off, 3 corners. Brewing up nicely. 97 normally suggests a goal before half-time. If you fancied that, 1-0, 2-0, any unquoted in the half-time score market. Now you see the European sides starting to wake up. I would have expected Mainz to do something second half, but they've got in before the first half, which is a pity. That draw would have been vulnerable second half, particularly if there happened to be a goal in the Werder Bremen-Leipzig match. But now there is a goal in the Mainz match. These two should warm up nicely. So let's have a walk through as we're entering the 72nd minute for the Champions League spots, or the Europa spots for Pogon. Absolutely flat as a pancake, that momentum. 2 shots on target, probably well separated. 29th minute. So I won't be taking on that 1-0. Probably a good one for insurance, isn't it? You just sit on that 1-0 and hope they wake up with the pressure of time, Pogon. But looks like a hatchet job from Radomiak Radom in defence. Brommer and Halmstad, we don't have the in-play stats, but we do have them at Soccer 24. Do you trust Brommer to get an equaliser and push on? But as I say, over 2.5 goals if I'd have got on at half-time. That would have been pretty good, wouldn't it? But that's the value of doing all your research in that 15-minute gap. I didn't get there quick enough. Elsewhere, well, Västerås did deserve that equaliser. They were knocking on the door. Union Berlin and Heidenheim, it's going with the side with need, so I won't be pressured into laying Heidenheim just yet, but 4 consecutive draws, 3 of them score draws, and they're also getting involved with sides with need like Werder Bremen and Bochum. So Union Berlin might still have a shout in the fortunes of some of these teams. You can see not even on the map Heidenheim. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Holstein Kiel and Freiburg, that draw should be vulnerable. I suppose this is the value of keeping an eye on the stats as they evolve, because this lot have the Champions League whip, don't they? That carrot. And if you add that, you could have taken on at half-time, particularly, if you're worried about the 2-0 for Holstein, getting a half-time market, off we go. Mainz, goal before half-time. Still, I think this draw should be vulnerable, but only the 1 shot on target. They're drawing, but are they 0-0s? Well, one of them against St. Pauli was a 0-0, 2-2 against Union Berlin. Only the 1 second-half goal there. Normally a goal fest when these two meet. There is still, we can have a quick look at how it's progressing. There's that 1-1, Pogon. Did you trust them? Let me know if you trusted Pogon. It's the only strategy I'd use at this stage of the season with the teams like Pogon, who I haven't got a clue about, is the motivation to stay up. And there we go, that's that equaliser. And look at the difference that will make in the life standings for Pogon. It will set them up nicely, as there's still a few matches remaining, but there's still a win away from Jagiellonia, Bialystok. And that's the only place available. So you can see the pressure, can't you? So I hope you had a go yourself and were persuaded, and you've been rewarded. So well done. We were going to have a look at how the life standings are affecting matters, because it's business at both ends, isn't it? So you can see they're all waiting in the wings for Freiburg, who are playing on the 11th tomorrow against St. Pauli. See if they cock it up. But in the meantime, this lot have to do their job. So turn that into a win. That's 55 points. That will really put the Shakers up Frankfurt tomorrow. Mainz are doing their job with a 1-0. But all they need, Dortmund playing tomorrow against Bayer Leverkusen. Dead rubber for Bayer. Dortmund have plenty to think about. Add another win and they're up and running. Mainz are doing all they can. As you can see, Leipzig and Werder Bremen. This is a battle. Werder Bremen must take the points off Leipzig. It's as simple as that. Werder Bremen get the win today. They're on 50 points. Leipzig will be down to 50 points. So that draw should be vulnerable second half. And at the bottom, Holstein Kiel, you see that 1-1 draw. Should be vulnerable, shouldn't it? In both cases. So can we get that draw? Are you willing to take it on at the beginning of the second half? Or are you going to try and get that draw using that time pressure later and later? Bochum have to turn it around, but it's looking unlikely against a hugely motivated Mainz. They are clinging on to that Europa Conference League place. And don't forget, if they get a win today, they can always upgrade with another win. So that's the importance of that. I don't think there's enough in Bochum's tank to trouble them. So we're picking off some nice ones. Brighton VAR opener against Wolves. The only motivating factor for Wolves is to keep that very, very impressive run going. We're getting the goals coming in. We'll have a quick walk through. Anything of interest? Any upset? Well, St. Truden, goal down, 2.05 away. It's the relegation group, so we've probably got better candidates today. Premier League, no great interest at all. Goal before half-time. Throwaway interest there if you fancied it. And it's gone to Brentford. Man City should really get the 5+ match winning run continued. Waiting to look on Wolves, but any plays you make in dead rubbers, you've only got yourself to blame if they don't turn out the way you think. That also stands for early season, so we're putting our trust in the market here. Do prepare for potential upsets. It's still 1-0, so I'm heading off to Pogon. They're going to be a little vexed with that not counting. So we might get some late pressure on Radomiak's goal. So let's head off, see whether Pogon can gain some recompense here. So 1.36 is still a little low to lay Radomiak for me. Maybe I will have a go at 1.25 and onwards. But if you wanted a little tickle or have a little interest, if they can get a quick equaliser and you miss it out because you're looking for lower odds, just a quid on Pogon, because the odds will drop markedly if they equalise and we've missed it out because we're waiting for better odds there. So the pressure of missing, having that goal disallowed at the perfect time, sets them up nicely for 10 minutes plus extra time looking for that win. You've already seen in the live standings the importance even of that single point, setting them up for future matches to have an assault on that single place. So let's have a walk through. Got these goals coming in, but they're not in leagues that I'm interested in. So I'll just quiet that for a second. Work our way down. So I've had a little tickle at 21s. I'm going to get involved again a little later. A slight suggestion that we could see the momentum start to move up for Pogon with 10 minutes plus remaining, and even that single point salvaged could make a huge difference. Not sure we can trust anything here at the moment, so we'll have to have a look at the in-play stats here for Brommer. Unavailable, so hopefully we'll get that sorted before the start of the season. Halmstad keen to keep that lead. In-play stats, second half most important. And we're seeing just the one big chance, 2 off target, 3 shots in the box. Nothing much to excite, but as you can say, as I've said before, if you're getting involved now, be prepared to lose. But I thought it was worth a go. Better neutral, of course. So we just go back, get our live matches up, just have a walk through. So in the Premier League, 0-2 to Brighton in a dead rubber, 2.9 the favourite, 2.35 the favourite. Much of a muchness. Man City could do with a goal, 1.2 pre-match favourite. Don't know if it's a bust a gut one though. Inter Turku, we'll have to have a look at their in-play stats, see if they can respond. Werder Bremen Leipzig, I would look at that draw being vulnerable second half. I would look at Holstein Kiel Freiburg draw particularly being vulnerable second half. Such importance at both ends of the table for these two, particularly with Heidenheim winning from Holstein Kiel's perspective and with Mainz winning from Freiburg's perspective. So there's a lot to pressure. Pogon, I'm waiting to get involved later on. We got that goal before half time and it's gone to Hibs. I don't know if you're interested in Celtic at all. The only value could be any other home score, 2-1, any other home score for Celtic. But again, you're flirting with dead rubbers. That's the problem. Turkish One League, we know our 3 sides. Keep an eye out on İgdir, Sanlihurspor and Manisa, particularly coming to the 85th minute. We had an amazing run last season, particularly in the Norwegian Eliteserien. There we go, we've got Fatih Karagümrük scoring. That's not what İgdir want at all. So we might be heading off to have a look at İgdir if that goal stands. It could be a big chance. No, doesn't stand. Celtic and Hibs, if you're going strictly on the in-play stats, you would be all over this one. The only negative here is the dead rubber element. Hope you're all okay. All over on YouTube. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. A little snifter. We know there's need. Now they've woken up when they could have woken up in the preceding 83 minutes. You can see they've hit these peaks on 3 occasions, not been rewarded, got a goal, not being rewarded. Now can they make that push for that equaliser? It could change their season. That's what I like to see. Moving down to 1.25, we can start having a little tickle. Just taking bits and bobs off. And similarly, have a go at 40s. If they can get that quick equaliser while the momentum's up, they've still got time for the winner, which could cement that 3rd place. That's the only place they've got open to them this season, Pogon. That's a huge motivating factor. So we're £2.50 down, but we're 60 quid up on Pogon. It's break even on the draw. So the longer I can wait, the more I can pick off. Let's get a little bit more. Keep it going. The ideal, of course, wait for 1.09 and 1.06. That way you'll capture the very, very latest goal if they can keep the pressure going. So you can see that rise in momentum. It's just a pity they didn't keep that pushing upwards. So that's the Hibs goal. Up to you if you wanted to play that. If you're interested, highly likely they'll do a job, but trusting sides, they mentally switch off. They really do. It's not a bust a gut win, is it? So where you'd normally make that extra effort, you don't really need to. So our focus then will just remain on Pogon. See the draw odds drop. But they're taking a while to drop, aren't they? 1.25 for a while. Probably going to have some resistance at 1.2. So do I take a little bit more out? And you could also start backing the draw if you wanted. Indeed, I had a thought. Would it be better value for us if we're laying the late draws? Rather than laying the late draws, why don't we back these? It's much better value, isn't it? Because this 1.24, that's 4 to 1. This is 4s, but this is 47s. So you're still getting the same return if you lay the draw and this one comes in. This one being the home side, this one being the away side. That makes sense. So that's something for me to bring forward to the next season or for our summer leagues. Try out some of these late lay the draws, but backing the other 2 outcomes instead, or late lay the team backing the other 2 outcomes instead. It might pick up a huge win. You never know. And if you've got Fairbot, you can dig out the £1. You can start it with 25p's even, and it will get matched. As you can see, it's very laboured, this Radomiak Radom. They're expecting something from Pogon here, aren't they? So let's just go to some of our other matches, because this is taking an age, this draw, to drop, isn't it? Well, let's see if we've missed any goals. Second half's beginning in the Bundesliga. Should be, at least. Super Etten and Allsvenskan. Well, we'll have to... Well, here we go. Hearts, odds on Hearts scoring the first goal, as expected. Not too keen on any of the others. Sporting Gijón Deportivo, we'll have a look at that a bit later if there is need for a win. Don't forget, second tiers have the greater motivation. Second half's beginning. Two draws I would see vulnerable second half. Holstein Kiels and Werder Bremen's. Huge need for both with that European battle so intense. Jablonek, odds on are winning. I'll just get rid of that. Fulham and Everton, no idea. Celtic and Hibs, I'll talk you through it, but you have been warned. Please, dead rubbers, there is a switch off. So here, for example, if you wanted to start backing the draw as well, preempt that, you get a better return than 1.2 lay, wouldn't you? Or just marginally above. You can do the same with Pogon, and if they happened to pull it off. Wow. So it's taking a while, hasn't it, to get from 1.25 to 1.2 liquidity, and it was also a lack of trust that Radomiak can pull this one off. So if you want to start attacking that draw, always mindful of the liability. You want your reward to be worth it. That's why 109, 106 is superb, and it gets that time pressure working for a team who need the points. Brommer, we'll have to go back. We haven't had any goals coming in from Brommer just yet. Union Berlin, Heidenheim, no strong interest, but there is that score draw element for Union Berlin. There is that squeaky bum time for Heidenheim as well, given they're on that cusp of 2 consecutive clean sheets and a beating of ex-Champions League Stuttgart. So is that going to be a tough nut to crack? Where's that second goal? If you wanted to take them on speculatively, you could lay over 1.5 goals. Back Union Berlin +1. Look for a score draw, 3 consecutive score draws. As I said to you, Union Berlin look to be having a say at the end of the season at both ends of the table. So unlikely to see a second goal from Heidenheim. 1-0 might not be out of the realms of possibility. Their only second goal, you'd suggest, could be a lucky penalty or something. So if you fancy that, that's there if you want it. You could even go without insurance if you wanted it, getting odds on. It's prime for laying over 1.5 goals, looking for a Union Berlin equaliser, but you're flirting with disaster, taking on teams who need desperate wins. Talking of teams needing desperate wins, these two should be squabbling to end this draw. What's the best way to play? You're going to get stuck in straight away. I'm going to go 109, 106 now. So £23. 1.09. £2 liability. Lay again. 1.06 to win £32 because that's still under £2 liability. That brings in the time pressure for Pogon to get an equaliser. We'll have the draw covered, of course, because it's a neutral play, neutral-ish, covering the other 2 outcomes there. Now we can sit back. If we get an equaliser, fan dabby dozy. Let's look at our draws. Is this remnants of the first half? I think it might be. Has it continued into the second half for Freiburg? It's such a competitive up at the top there that these draws should be vulnerable at some point, shouldn't they? So I'll be looking at them with keen interest. So we'll bring Freiburg up. These are waiting to be matched. And we've really got the rainy season coming down immediately. First week of May, off we go. You can hear that in the background. So the draw is currently at 3.05. If you're worried, you could have a go at this. You could lay, not going to cost much. You could lay at the beginning or at half time, lay over 2.5 goals and sit on it. Try to lay the draw at shorter odds later on in the match. If you're willing to sacrifice that in the hope of getting better odds about the draw. It's contrary because there's more pressure on the draw with these two. But if it's going to be tight, we don't concede the next goal. And if we can get on 70th minute, we get a bigger return. If the match ends in anything but a secondary score draw, we've got the current score draw covered. So let's work our way down. Pogon. Well, we've got that. We don't even have to look out for it, do we? We're just looking forward to the possibility of a 1-0. And if you're involved in Como and haven't cashed out, you definitely cash out now. And that could even apply to me because I've got only a small amount on other results. You never know, a red card could occur and it could all go Lionel Blair. For the sake of £1, I'm just going to spread it. 12-second delay, don't forget. So make your decision. And that's 52 quid minus the £4 insurance. That's all I need in a day. It's lovely, isn't it? And that's all thanks to momentum, a decent manager, home advantage, and an away side who have F all to play for. We've got to have a look at the in-play stats for Inter Turku. This one is a risky one. I don't know why we don't have the in-play stats yet, or in-play guru doesn't have it yet. But hopefully they'll get that sorted. 6 total shots, 2 on target, 2 on, 2 off. Hit the woodwork once, so we're a bit unlucky not to have got an equaliser yet from Inter Turku. 4 shots inside the box. It could be a new favourite stat of mine. I think that does increase your confidence, I would think, if there's only 2 shots on target, if they're getting inside the box and shooting, and these are mounting up, that could be a really good signal of attacking pressure. So we're looking okay, although it's not absolute standout, 1.42 battling, but they have hit the woodwork, which I hope will keep you involved. And let's just 2-0 to Radomiak Radom, and that is why. I suppose we lay late on at low odds. Pogon done. What a pity. But you keep your liability low. You couldn't have really laid neutral. You could have laid the 1-0, I suppose. That's the neutral. If you're thinking neutral, rather than going for specific teams, you go for specific outcomes involving both teams. And have a think of these for each of your trades. Do you have a neutral alternative? That one would have been laying the 1-0. Bromma and Halmstad, 83rd minute, we've got the 0-1 covered. You can always bail out. So we'll have a look at Halmstad. So you've got a minus 29 here, but you've got plus 20 here. The reason it's not exact is because if you had £20 profit here and you went +1, you'd have £20 loss here. You would have an absolute break even. But it's a bit too late unless you want to take that £9 hit in case we get a 0-2, and you'll be guaranteed a loss. So there's always an exit point here of about £9, but that doesn't account for the lack of liquidity, which is another key element in playing this league too early in its season, before the market has really got a great interest in it. Now we're starting to see the Werder Bremen-Leipzig match warm up nicely. They need points. They've got to take points off Leipzig, Werder Bremen, today. So it might be one to pass on to telegrammers. That draw should be vulnerable. Don't forget, Freiburg, Holstein Kiel should be vulnerable as well. The European places are all to play for in the German Bundesliga today. Werder Bremen, Leipzig, Mainz, Freiburg, all in with the squabble. It's 0-0 Werder Bremen, Leipzig. The draw, keep an eye on it if you'd like to lay it at some point. Werder Bremen, though, did have a 0-0 recently, or on a run of 2 consecutive draws, but they must take points off Leipzig today. These two are in a squabble for the European place, one below the other. So keep that one in mind if you want to lay the draw now, or try to lay as late as possible. Similar story, Holstein Kiel and Freiburg. Holstein Kiel must win to have a chance at relegation playoff. Freiburg must win to have a shot at keeping their Champions League spot. It's 1-1. That draw should be vulnerable at some point in the second half too. We were going to have a look at Celtic, weren't we, as a throwaway in a dead rubber part of the season. And Heidenheim confirming, which makes Holstein Kiel's need for a win even greater, doesn't it? That's what I like about these the live standings. The pressure increases in play on the likes of Holstein Kiel now, who will be getting news that it's a comfortable enough 2-goal lead. There's that 1-1. I was just about to take you to the half-time score market for that 2-1. Any unquoted for a throwaway play. It looks like we've just got the 1-1 with five minutes to go. There's alternatives. Don't forget, if you do go half-time, you're cutting your liability as well. You could have laid Hibs in a half-time market. First half goals, 2.5 goals perhaps, might have offered something, but the goals come a little bit too late. It's academic, really. It is a bit of a dead rubber. There's not that huge pressure like there is here. And they're really going for it now, aren't they? Werder Bremen. Must take points off Leipzig. Must. No ifs or buts. Don't forget these early matches coming to the end of the season. These last remaining matches, they're trying to make sure that they're in a good position for the last match of the season. All of this pre-work today, so they can get those 3 points, will make sure that they can get that assault on Leipzig. You can see 47-50. It's must-win territory if they want European football, Werder Bremen. That looks very nice indeed. Take that draw on. All of their shots on target. Well, 2 of them, second half. That's what you like to see, that pressure. It's only coming from one team. Why? Because they've got to take that point off this lot. Leipzig could condemn them themselves with a win and could upgrade to Champions League football a bit further on down the line. So they've got to think about that as well, Leipzig, but they haven't responded second half yet. These two are still mostly first half action. Just a one shot on, one shot off from Freiburg. So just yet to warm up and put an assault on that draw, which is vitally important for these two. Fulham Everton 1-1 doesn't really matter. Hearts Heidenheim. Well, we've got the Heidenheim goal. Doesn't really matter. I'm not taking on a Heidenheim, but those of you who just remembering Union Berlin's recent score draw itis, and if you're feeling a little mischievous, let me just remind you of recent Union Berlin scorelines. Don't forget, this lot will be a little shaky, won't they? Bottom 3. Squeaky bum time away from home. Goal disallowed as well. Brewing up nicely for a lay of a side 0-2 up, isn't it? Look at the recent scorelines for Union Berlin. 2-2 against Werder Bremen. 4-4 against Stuttgart. I smell. Oh, Holstein Kiel and Freiburg is 1-2. That draw has ended. That draw has ended. So if you took it on beginning of the second half, brave enough to take it on at higher odds, you're getting rewarded, aren't you? That pressure. So again, Union Berlin, that's where we're heading off. Those score draws for Union, they've got very little to motivate them. It's all dependent on whether the odds are short enough. And that answers your question. So these are speculative, but we're getting rewarded with a very decent return at very low risk. Look at that, 20 quid. And again, the alternative to that 1.13 is to back the other two, isn't it? So you're getting similar. So have a think about that. If you want a chance at a whopping return, off you go. But we're going to be doing that anyway, because we're taking on Heidenheim. So an initial 3 or 4 quid there to keep that going, and a couple of shekels on Union Berlin. And don't forget, there's a half an hour to go. They've got a record of score draws, Union Berlin. It is the reason we're taking on with low liability is because we know Heidenheim must win. So they could easily hold off this 0-2 or even expand upon it. But no, Union Berlin just had that goal disallowed. That could be a good time to get involved. Just as they're fresh from seeing a goal in the back of the net. Very little to interest them, but a good set of score draw sequences against the side who are going to be squeaky bum time. There we go, Celtic 2-1 before half time. So if you did have a throwaway 2-1, any unquoted in the half-time score market, off you go. Very decent return. All based on the pre-match odds and trusting that they've turned up today, which indeed they have. Fulham and Everton not going to be playing, so I don't think I'll keep it on the watch list at all. Wolverhampton Wanderers putting in a good shift against Brighton. They have been exceptional recently. Only lost 1-0 to Man City. Up to you if you play or not. Dead rubber all over the shop. Not greatly interested in that. I'm hoping now for a 0-1 to get a full payout on the insurance on Brommer. We'll have a go at that. I'm just going to put forward that lay of Heidenheim because the odds are short enough. Union Berlin against Heidenheim. Lay Heidenheim at 1.11. Union Berlin's last 3 matches have been score draws. Heidenheim do need the win, 0-2, but there's half an hour to go. Union Berlin just had a goal disallowed by VAR as well, so this could be an interesting end. Very, very low liability as well. If you fancied a small back at Union Berlin at 65, I wouldn't put you off. Keep your liability, keep your risk low, of course. Worth a go, isn't it? We know we can wipe off the money we've risked because they're highly likely to hold on to the win, but you just never know. Now we've got that draw ending, so I hope you got involved. You're going to get a better movement in the draw odds with Freiburg scoring because it's the Champions League side scoring. Still might not be over for Holstein Kiel. Don't forget that 3-goal haul twice now. 7 goals in 2 matches. And whenever Borussia Mönchengladbach took the lead last week or 2 weeks ago, they were there to respond second half. So this might not be over. We'll keep an eye with interest, but we were interested in getting that draw finished because of the huge story between these two. It looks like Mainz are doing what they need to do to keep an interest in the possible tilt at Champions League football. Werder Bremen. Well, I would be expecting Leipzig to be going for the win today myself, but they're very negative. No shots on target. Or is that down to Werder Bremen's highly defensive bent? Get rid of that one. Kilmarnock and Dundee, no strong opinion. Their Hearts already odds on. Leading. Can be trusted at odds on as long as they keep 11 on the pitch. Man City, well, just going through the motions really. Are they going to score second half? When are they going to score second half? Are you going to lay the draw? Well, doesn't interest. Well, we've survived to half-time at 1-0. Got to wait for a half-time team talk for Inter. But again, we could be suffering from getting involved a little bit too early, but we're getting away with it with Halmstad at the moment, with insurance likely to possibly pay out late on. I can always guarantee it now, as we're getting nearer to the £39 payout. If I risk £4, I could possibly increase my profit, because if we get a 1-1 late on, I could double it up, double or quits. Good idea of Paul Dunwoody's, this one. Particularly 12 seconds, match might be over by the time this gets matched. You'll guarantee yourself at least 36 of the 39 you were looking for, so you take a £3 hit in the hope of that becoming a draw and taking a £3 loss where you would have taken a 40. Well worth the punt. Anyway, I've locked in the majority of my funds here, so I don't need to know the final score. 1-1 would be lovely. GIF Sonsval and Vasteras, watch out for them. Odds on today coming from behind. Second half might be worthy of our attention. It is the Super Etten. We're taking on this Heidenheim lead very speculatively, though, just based on the four consecutive score draws, 3 consecutive score draws, and the fact Heidenheim are in uncharted territory with 2 goals scored. Holstein Kiel must respond. Do they have the strength to respond against a side hugely motivated by Champions League football? We saw that little spurt up to 100 from Werder Bremen, but when we're laying the draw, we could do with both teams working for us. We're not seeing that from Leipzig, who really could condemn Werder Bremen's European hopes if they just get the win today themselves. Elsewhere, Well, up to you if you want to take on that draw second half. We were involved in this one. Hopefully we'll see something from Inter, who have hit the woodwork in the first half. Wolves making good noises in a dead rubber. The only thing really to have an interest in the Wolves match is to look for the momentum improvement or continuation with home advantage. You can see they have dominated the end of the first half. Looking for that equaliser. Up to you if you wanted to play it. A draw last time for Brighton against Newcastle. Away from home, but they have scored 2+ goals in 3 of the last 4 matches. That's a slight worry. It is a dead rubber, so I shouldn't be really spending too long dissecting it, should I? Let's take a look at some matches. Last glimpse, odds on at home, always worthy of our attention. Working our way down. We can have a quick peek at the tennis while the football's quiet as well, just to familiarise yourself with all things tennis as we head into the summer. We're going to have a look at that odds on in the Croatian one. Rijeka away from home, well worth looking after. Just work our way down. French Ligue 2, as you can see. Bonjour, Rodders. How many matches left in French Ligue 2? Let's have a quick look. They should all be uniform on 33. So we'll just check one side out. I think 3 matches remain. 1, last match of the season, French Ligue 2. So let's prepare for that. I don't know if we'll be following that. Should be. So heading to 4 o'clock. So this is how you prepare for the end of the season. We get to French Ligue 2. Bring up, I think I've already done it with all of these stars, or all these odds-on favourites. So let's get rid of them. They all seem to be odds-on favourites, unless I've already done the job. So let's bring up the standings. Make sure you're only focusing at 4 o'clock on teams with interest. You can see the top 4 already have concluded their business. Guingamp, even with a win, can't catch Dunkirk. Well, they could. So that means they've confirmed their place. Laval can't catch Dunkirk. So this too could have a squabble over the 4th place. I'm not sure if it's worthwhile, but Guingamp, of course, all to play for today for them. They're the first one to start at 4 o'clock against Pau. So we'll bring up the standings again. Guingamp are a definite. Similarly, Laval with a win today. If Guingamp lose, Laval will take that 5th spot. Don't forget, it's even more important in French Ligue 2. Second tiers with the possibility of promotion. So Laval will certainly be a match with huge motivation. Odds on at home as well will be music to the traders' ears, I hope. Odds on at home and hugely motivated. But they are playing Metz in 3rd spot. Metz have guaranteed themselves 3rd spot. So the motivation is dying from Metz today. So we've got our top sides. Are we involved in Grenoble? 46? No. It's the last match of the season, isn't it? So at the bottom, it's a concluded business. No, it's not. Martigues and Clermont are going to be squabbling for the relegation playoff place. Martigues and Clermont. Clermont, Martigues. There we go. So we'll just confirm that we've got our calculations right. Last match of the season. So now, like we did with the Dutch yesterday, you're significantly shortening your workload. You've only got 4 matches to look at now. You've got Lorient, who've already won the title. So this could be a good value lay if they're taking a comfortable lead at half-time. Don't forget, could change their season. Have a chance at staying up. No, we're not involved with that one. This is a squabble for the title. So maybe Paris FC might be of interest. Squabble for the title. So I hope you're all okay. Another goal at Freiburg. And a yield will be 94% for March Meadow. So he's done over 3.5 goals at 2.3. Sorry, I couldn't catch up with your messages. Freiburg back over 3.5 goals, just heads it to leave 0 and unders. Brilliant stuff, well done. That's neutral. Good stuff. Radomiak 2-0 indeed. That's why we lay at low risk with Radomiak. So Heidenheim, it's a very speculative play, that one. Holstein Kiel, not seeing a response, but Freiburg can just shut the door now. If you did lay the draw, well done. It's all Werder Bremen, which is frustrating for a lay the draw, a neutral player. A 0-3 for Heidenheim, that's done the job there. And alas, we're not getting a huge payout on Union Berlin. Well worth it with the score draw writers. They lay very, very low odds. But you can see they're doing exactly what they've done. And no, not what I'm getting them mixed up with Holstein Kiel scoring their 3+ goals. But looks to be done and done there. Unless we get the recovery that we want, we don't need to sweat it. We're well ahead with old Perry from earlier on. This is still, we're expecting the pressure on that draw. Just not arriving. We haven't got Leipzig playing for us. Their first shot on target's just arrived. 20 minutes to go. Is this a concerted pressure? Have they made any significant substitutions? Mike's confirming they're doing their job in that battle at the top. Really good stuff from them. So just waiting. You can see. Just a reminder, Werder Bremen and Leipzig, the difference that a win makes, particularly for Werder Bremen. If you take a point off Leipzig, they'll be on 50. Win for Werder Bremen, they'll be on 50. So negative goal difference is even more important. You get on the same points and then try to push ahead. And don't forget, you've still got the possibility of upgrading to even Europa League. That's why I thought this draw would be extremely vulnerable today for these two. Leipzig have not turned up. They're in a really poor run of form, though. That's the problem. But suddenly, in a dead rubber against Bayern Munich, they did take the lead in that one and were pegged back. But you can see significant importance of just a single goal for either of these two. That Europa League place is still available. But we're just not seeing it, are we? Well, possibility of a goal from Union, but looks to be corrected. Probably the second one, the second half. So a tad unlucky not to be up and running there. What a pity. So work our way through. Second half, this is a throwaway early season play. It might go all pear-shaped, but you saw with Hamstad earlier on, if you take out insurance, at least you'll get that element returned. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. There it is. So you lasted. We got away with that because the later you go on when you've gone match odds, you're going to be sitting on a loss on the draw and the possibility of a 0-2 as well. This was the danger there. Wolverhampton Wanderers, up to you if you're going for the momentum factor there. It is a dead rubber. Please be aware of that. But psychologically important for the manager to keep that run going, keeping City to a single goal as well. There's also a tick in the box. It's a bit early. Dunkirk have scored first against Red Star. I think Red Star have done enough to survive. Dunkirk already got that arrow. So it's just a squabble for Dunkirk, third and fourth. It's not a bust-a-gut win, is it, for them today? We've already got our sides to monitor. They'll be best attacked in the second half. Elsewhere, work our way down. As you can see, we are missing our English friends. Championship, League 1, League 2. Really do make a big difference at 3 o'clock. RKC Valvik against Heerenveen. 3 wins in 4 for Heerenveen. Is there any need for points? They're in 8th place. So we do our usual checks. How many matches are remaining? Do Heerenveen have a good tilt at European football? We are in the Eredivisie after all. So could have best done it here, couldn't we? But just checking the amount of matches left. So let's get this one up. Heerenveen and Fortuna Sittard. Let's work our way down. 3 matches remain, so it's no panic, no huge panic just yet. in the Eredivisie. Saniyarifspor just couldn't pull off the win. Igdir have cocked it up again as well. I missed laying Karagümrük late on, or back in the draw late on. So significant problems for these two heading into the next match. I think it's the next match of the season, isn't it? Or was it the last match of the season? They couldn't cross the line. But that's when we get involved. We should have got involved 90th plus minute. That way keep your liability up. Miracles do occur at this stage of the season. So where was I? What was I talking about before I distracted myself? Oh, I'll have to start again. RKC and Heerenveen, indeed, we were looking. So 3 matches remain, and we're going to go down and have a look here. We've just got the equaliser from Heerenveen. We're going to look for the pressure because they are in 8th place, but it's all academic now. They've got that equaliser, but I still do have to do my homework. Should have got there a little bit quicker. But this is something you should be picking up yourself, as you can see here. Take one away, they're on 40 points. Groningen, Heracles, excellent season, are all vying. And don't forget, that's probably realistically the only available spot left with a nice 6-point gap. So important, particularly with this lot, looking unlikely to be vying for that place, Willemsvee's place. That's the only realistic out this season, but it's a 5-point gap. 3 matches remain. It's still mathematically possible, but we were looking, if the stats were good for Heerenveen for that equaliser. I didn't get there quick enough. What a pity. Second half beginning, Man City. Well, what are you going to go for? 0-2, 0-3? 0-3, any other away score? Up to you. 0-3, 1-3, any other away score? It's up to them whether they've got any motivation at all. Or indeed, whether you've got any motivation as a trader to be playing effectively dead rubbers. 0-3 is at 9.6. 1-3 in case Saints get a goal. If they bring Matt Letitia on. Any other away win at 15.5. So it's not going to cost you too much if you fancy to play. Or you could lump them all together and see whether they ignite second half. Yeah, why not? You can just sit back now, pipe and slippers. And if they pull it off, boom. If Southampton collapse, it is a dead rubber, so that's why I prefer to ask Man City to stretch like this. Keep my liability low. It's going to be even lower now. It's moved down to 1.03. 1.2 pre-match. So the market was expectant. Celtic were 1.3 pre-match. But you can tell it's going through the motions, isn't it? Really. But if they come alive suddenly, then we will have a shout. A lot more improved defensively in the last 3 matches, Saints. But they did concede 2 against Fulham. They didn't concede second half against Leicester. And they did concede just a single goal against West Ham. Dead rubber City though. But we'll see whether Man City can come alive. It'd be very nice to get a 0-1 before the 60th minute, just to warm up that 4.5 goal market and get us moving. 0-3, 1-3, any other away score is another alternative if you wanted to 1.2. The other way, you just sit on it and wait for the draw odds to hit. Really good. But it's up to you if you wanted to play. Off you go. Oh, pity about Heerenveen. Let's just take a peek through our matches now. Probably coming to an end. We're just not seeing anything from Holstein Kiel to put pressure on that Freiburg lead. But it's vital that they keep hold of that league with comfortable Mainz lead as well. And these two slitting each other's throats at the moment. This suits Leipzig, but it 3 points improves positions markedly. Starting to come alive second half, but why do they suddenly just do it with the time pressure? Can't you keep that concerted pressure throughout? I would expect something. So working our way through second half beginning. Marienham and Inter, we don't have the stats, so we'll have to have a look here. Marihamna and Inter. This is based purely on the pre-match odds. Very risky because it's so early in the season. With the home side beating third already, so we are flirting with disaster. Let's have a look at the second half from Inter Turku. Hopefully we're getting a moving line all the way to the red, to the right. That's what we're looking for. 2 shots on target. Okay, a bit, well, not blood and thunder from a 1.4 shot, is it? 3 shots inside the box. Again, that's a nice stat. I'm beginning to like that stat. 3 shots to 0 inside the box. They're getting in the pressure area, and they're getting the shots off. 5 touches in the opposition box. Again, a similar strong stat, isn't it? I might start including that if they've got it on the Guru. It's what I like to see. It just adds to the attacking pressure index, doesn't it? And everything else, shots on and shots off. But a single corner second half only. This is for probably spread traders, isn't it? These passes stats. 6 clearances, I like that as well. Second half, don't forget, these are second half stats. 2 goalkeeper saves. It all just adds to our confidence that we are with the right side and hopeful that they can get that equaliser and push on. So we've got some other stats to add to our collection if we just want to improve or just add to our evidence of staying in. Man City brewing up nicely, as you'd expect. Will reward the delayer, you'd think, here today, if they can keep the pressure up and nick that late winner. We look to be with the right side here, don't we? 6 goalkeeping clearances for Marihamna. I hope many more to come. Second half, if you're into the equaliser for Wolves, by all means, go for it. The only real evidence I can put in your favour is in-play stats. Dominated the end of the first half. Home advantage. Keep the momentum going. Kept Man City to a single goal, i.e., can they keep Brighton to a single goal? But the pervading negative is the dead rubber element. So up to you. You can see they are the dominant force at the moment, the Portuguese outfit. So tongue-in-cheek. Rijeka, odds on today. Will we have a look at the Croatian League if it's 0-0 at half-time? Again, just using that pressure, that concerted pressure. We've got French League 2 covered as well. Definite league to follow. Red card booked already. Hradec have taken advantage of that. Nothing much of interest. Dead rubbers in the Premier League. Little early in the French League 2 to get too excited. We want that second half pressure, don't we? That's what we're looking for. So we are missing our English leagues. Very, very quiet. This draw should be vulnerable with Heerenveen's tilt at Europe. Better play, of course, coming from behind. Didn't sniff that one out quickly enough. Hopefully those are the ones you can sniff out yourself, particularly if you've got an in-play stats feed. 6th against 7th. Wonder if there's a European element to this one. There is a big gap in points, though, so Santa Clara or Famalicão might be losing hope as matches are running out. So I don't see an argument for the carrot for Famalicão there. Playoffs too illiquid. And Celtic, if you did the half-time market, speculative, but you'd have been very well rewarded with a 2-1 any unquoted half-time score market if you got on there quickly enough. That's what we expect of Man City, 1.2. But again, you've just got to weigh up the dead rubber element. We've got that equaliser for Sevilla. We've already missed the angle in, but it must have been a penalty, I think, if it's closely related to the goal, to the red card. But that draw might be vulnerable if there's a need for points for Sevilla. So keep an eye on that one. Sporting Gijón, Deportivo La Coruña. Bit too near the relegation zone, but the 2-0 lead, exactly what they're after. So I won't see any pressure there. Mirandes, 5th place. Again, any side up with the promotion in their sights, well worthy of our attention. So let's have a look. Goal back from Bochum, but it's too little, too late. We can have a look at the Spanish second tier here. The goals are coming, but no panic yet in the French Ligue 2. We'll just see how things are progressing in Spanish Ligue 2. Any great motivating factors? Mirandes, as you can see, that's what I'm talking about. That huge carrot, for me, will always trump the relegation threatened sides, particularly one who is a 10-point gap above, even 9 points taking this draw out. So Mirandes, this is the kind of match you're looking out for that draw ending. 1.8 favourite at home. Huge change with a win for Mirandes. Automatic promotion. So that draw really should be vulnerable second half. So we'll get that one. 2.72 currently. Again, if you're worried about whether the draw will come in or not, whether the nerves will play a part, you can always sacrifice £5.60 or whatever your stake is going to be, sit on it and try to lay the draw at better odds later on. You always suffer though if it's a quick goal to end that. Really solid motivation, 2.72, good odds, but it did factor in that the market might be thinking this draw might continue for a little bit longer. Draw low enough. Let's see if we can get that huge motivation of automatic promotion, Spanish Liga 2. Let's just remember, I don't think there's too much pressure. A couple of matches left. But regardless, 4 matches left. So no panic stations just yet, but still, psychologically, if you can get your foot in the door now for the top 2, Mirandes, for those remaining 3 matches, you can look at maintaining rather than getting into that second spot. So really huge motivation. That draw should be as vulnerable as this one was. Thankfully, that one ended. Not seeing any reaction at all from Holton Kiel, are we? Good job from Leipzig there. Werder Bremen, no, not from Leipzig, from Freiburg. It's all come second half. Huge. It's all pretty much second half stats from Leipzig, isn't it? Shots on target. It's very, very frustrating when you're only coming alive in the 70th minute. And you're running out of time, and it's going to peter out at the 0-0. But is this the one where I took out the insurance? Because if it is, it's playing right into my hands. No, it's not. I thought it was the one that I laid over 0.5 goals. This would have been beautiful, laying over 0.5 goals at half time and then using your £20 as liability. You increase the return. But it's still, with 5 minutes to go, that draw is still relatively high, isn't it? The market's thinking the same as me. A win changes your season potentially. It's got 109, 106 written all over it. They'll be fighting to the death here. One single goal changes the whole season. So let's just go through our odds-ons as the goals are coming in. Live. Matches with need. Last Glints, odds on at home, 19 minutes in. Keep an eye on that. St Truden, well, I'm not too interested. Desmond Tutu, if you fancied that one, could be vulnerable. The only real interest I would see here, it would be to look for Man City to just nail the 3 points. Wolves, potential equaliser. Put that one in the speculative camp, along with Inter Turku, who, while we're here, because this is the only way we can visit the stats, is to look here at the second half. The momentum is continuing. 6 total shots, only the 1 on target. It's only 2 corner kicks, a very defensive Mario Hamner. 2 shots off target, 5 shots inside the box, 11 touches inside the opposition box. And how about the goalkeeper? Has he been made to work for Mario Hamner? 9 clearances, 6 interceptions, but just the 1 save. So you can see this petering out to a 1-1 later on, and I come out of it with a small loss. It's frustrating. The in-play stats are good. They're coming, but these are accurate and are returning. 4 shots on, 9 off and 2 corners, 48 dangerous attacks. That's more like it, isn't it, for Inter Turku, who are in with a shout this season, so a win would be nice for them. They're near. And Mario Hamner are Gary Williams. That's a well-known Finnish name. So we're just waiting on that one. Wolves I've already warned you about, if you're going to play dead rubbers. Let's look at the matches underneath the Inter Turku one. So we've got a 1-1 somewhere. Not sure which match that one is or whether we're involved. So French League Dirt, we know all about this one. We've got our teams sorted out. They are the star teams. So we'll be looking a bit later on in the match for those draws to be tested. Caveat with Paris FC and Lorient, they've already been promoted. This is just a squabble for top spot. So it's not a must-win for Paris FC by any stretch. It is, I think, for Ajaccio, so that's going to be interesting. Werder Bremen and Leipzig, the only one we'll be looking at taking that draw on late on. Heerenveen, possibility of laying that late draw with the hope for European football for Heerenveen. No great interest in Scotland today. All of that work for Celtic was done by half-time. Do Sevilla have anything to play for? First port of call. How many matches do they have remaining? I think it's been another under par season for Sevilla. So I'm not sure if they have the motivation to take the draw on. But it's always worth chancing second half, because if you do lay the draw, you're almost guaranteed it going to 9s or 10s with the compounded effect of the red card. Where are these two in the league? 16th against 8th. Really, I should have used this, which was right in front of me, because this gives you the live standings. But I'm looking at this one, wasn't I, just to see the amount of matches left. So let me just get that back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So no major panic. More for, well, with 4 matches left, there's still a chance for Sevilla to break the 40-point barrier today, make 42, and notably with Celta Vigo in one of those crucial spots, 7th or 8th, which are gettable mathematically. So that draw is vulnerable. We're looking at that second half. He'll be telling that to his team at half-time, the Sevilla manager. So we'll be looking at something from them. Salvage something this season. We couldn't have taken advantage of the red card because it was linked. The goal was linked to the red, but surely Sevilla can do something. The in-play stats will tell us whether they can get that motivation, an outside chance at Europe for them with that ending of that draw. So that will look good at half time. You will get 8s or 9s or 10s if you're seeking out. Oh, we got that draw ending. Is that draw going to end now? Come on. Werder Bremen and Leipzig. Suspenders. Is it handbags at 6 paces? I don't know. Draw is at 2.56. Again, you could take insurance out because it's likely to be very, well, I was going to say it's likely to be much lower with the red card in tow. That's the market telling you they've got very little faith in Sevilla. So maybe we need confirmation from the in-play stats for the Sevilla match, second half, to see whether they're going to respond in kind and get that goal, which they really do need. Got to take points off this lot because they're on equal points to 7th and 8th. Got to take points off them while you have that gift of that red card. But as you can see, totally lacking in any confidence at all. Hope you're all okay over at YouTube. Probably recording it a day 4:45. We're waiting for the French for the second half assault on Telegram. Just picking out the matches of need. So I think we can get rid of, Circular Booger, I thought, with 1.55 pre-match fabs. This is all going Pete Tong. But it could be another one where you could look at a value play there, Circular Booger. So we'll keep an eye on this one, particularly if you can get decent value about laying that draw. So have a look at the Circular Booger match. It's a very unexpected scoreline. Are Beerschot vulnerable? 1.23 and 19s. So let's have a look. It's a 3-1. 65th minute. Very, very late goals. A quick flurry of late goals at the end of the first half. There's no red card in play. Looked like they just got a sudden wind. Maybe the old kit man got the Lucozade out a little bit early with the old deep heat. And off they go. Second half, quick response. 3-1 up. It still, does it fall into the territory of being an underdog leading 2-0 on or around half time? What I like is the fact Circular Booger have a goal. So there's only a 2-goal deficit. It looks good, 3-1, but it's only a 2-goal deficit. That becomes 3-2. We are in trading territory then. Again, at these odds, you can have a play. If it's not Circular Booger's day, you can sacrifice just a small liability to find out. What I like is the fact that it's like the tennis. If you're laying a team player 4-1 up, 4-2 for their opponent makes a sudden difference, doesn't it? It just brings some doubt in the mind. 3-1 to 3-2. Suddenly, Beerschot are thinking, oh boy. But that's a real quick flurry. 23 minutes is enough for an odds-on favourite if they're up for it. You can keep your liability low, get as near to 100, and get that working for you. If we get a 3-1, 75th, 80th minute, 3-2 even, you ain't going to be seeing 23s or thereabouts. So warming up nicely there. Ended 0-0. What a pity. Could have laid the very late draw there. 109, 106 would have been the better assault, wouldn't it? Leipzig coming far too late to the party, 70th minute. When you're playing neutral, you want both teams on your side for that later draw. 9 shots on, 6 off. I don't know if it's all first half bluster, just the 1 shot on target. So that's why we keep our liability low. They haven't turned up. But why are they 1.55 pre-match? Is there anything to interest them today? Plenty enough time to find out, particularly at a precarious 3-1 for a 1.1 shot. Man City warming up. Dead rubber City. So, third place. It's a squabble with Newcastle. Well, I suppose no, they've got to remain honest with Chelsea in 5th. So the pressure will be on that draw. The later, the better to lay that draw. Or if you've gone for the over 4.5 goals, that's why you lay at 103, because it's they're not firing the 1.2 shots. So you keep your liability low if they're not firing. Wolves are just threatening to equalise, aren't they? In what is a dead rubber, 3 shots on, 6 off, and 7 corners. So if you did take insurance out, that's covered the 0-1 currently. Second half, I think, is beginning, is it not? For Sevilla. That's a quick first half. No, it's second half already. 54th. So the timings must be off here. Getting a bit confused. 56 minute, 46 minute there. So we're going to expect this draw to be vulnerable. Now we know that Celta Vigo are in the European place, that Sevilla has an outside chance with 4 matches remaining of capturing. Can they take advantage of the red and the gift of a pen to get ahead second half and give their European hopes a real booster? 38, breaking into the 40-point barrier. 41 with Celta Vigo. If they lose, going back to 46, that reduces the gap even further to even less, to 5 points. So superb pressure there. Mirandes we know all about, so I think I've made a cogent argument for them, but they again haven't turned up. Second half, what did the market think? 1.95. Surely that's going to be vulnerable. Automatic promotion, don't forget. Automatic promotion. Levante are leaving the door open to automatic promotion. So that is a huge carrot. I would expect that draw to be vulnerable. I would expect a vast improvement. These shots on and off target. No corners either. Castellón, are they in a spot of bother? Well, 49 points. Don't think they're panicking too much. So Mirandes, very under par, 10 minutes into the second half. No rhyme or reason why a side with so much to play for quite simply hasn't turned up. They did score first, and they scored first in the second half. Just no momentum. Heerenveen, as we know, 3 wins in 4. That draw should be vulnerable second half. I would expect so at least. Get rid of that now. Santa Clara have got the goal against Famalicão. So let's just keep an eye on our watch list here as we move to 4:45. Working our way down. So Man City still starved of a goal. How have they been scoring recently? Let's have a look. Is there any particular time period we could focus on away from home for Man City? Or do Southampton fall apart at a specific time? They have been a lot better recently, haven't they? Defensively, relative to previous spankings. So Man City, recent goals, 90th minute winner, 84th and 90th minute against Everton. So we've already got in 2 of the last 3 matches 3 goals post 84th minute. So this could be one for you to flex your delay muscles. 79th minute there for Nico O'Reilly, but it's very recently, very late goals. 80th minute plus, so I'll be looking on that with interest. 90th minute goal conceded, 72nd as well against Fulham. So 90th minute goal involved, which Saints scored. 90th minute goal involved again. You get the idea. 90th minute goal involved again. 90th minute, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of the last 7 matches have seen 90th minute goal. So that 0-0, you delayers, you're going to be salivating. So let's get the City match up. Is this a 3-2 for Cercle Brugge? We will wait and see. We'll just type in Man City. Just wait to see whether there's an interest in the Cercle Brugge suspend. That would be very nice. No, not just yet. So 90th minute, we can go to the death here with this taking on the draw. Southampton, late concessions, must-win territory really. With Chelsea still breathing down the necks, and thankfully for Man City, slightly distracted by their European final. Is it goal back from Inter? Or have Marinham taken the lead? What's happened here? So let's have a quick break and have a look at this one. Oh, I didn't check the marker for that equaliser quickly enough. Oh, you've got to keep on track of your trades. That 1-1. But I don't think we'd have had a chance to get out anyway. It's just that neutral would have been far better. We've got back to 2-1 now, so we've got to sit on our hands. That ladies and gentlemen, is the Achilles heel of playing early season. You can get the potential shock results there. I don't know if there's a penalty or anything, or any reason for a suspend here in a Cercle Brugge match. So that 1-1 we could have done with holding on to that one a little quicker or a little longer. Very, very quick response from Marian Hamner. So nothing yet showing from Cercle for that suspend. Would have been great. Perfectly timed that 3-2 if we could have got that goal. Could be just substitution, so okay. So let's have a look through again. You can see the normal Saturday, we've got a huge amount of matches. Here we're just having to recycle. I just missed that. What a pity. No, we'll be looking now at a 2-2 to salvage us. We're with the right team here, just got done. 1-1 to 2-1 very quickly. You know where you're going to be playing here. 90th plus minute or 84th minute onwards. In Man City's case, they start scoring 84th plus. 5 of the last 6 conceding 90th minute goals. Dead rubber example to you, prime dead rubber example. Looking like they're interested, but no need to bust a gut. Not going to do anything to their season, Wolves. Do we stick? Do we twist? Do we play? Do we stay disciplined? There we go. You'd have thought Brentford would be involved in a lot more goals, but again, dead rubber. Don't need to get involved. Any response yet from Sevilla? Because you know you're going to get a very decent return if you're laying that draw from a late back trade perspective, all the way up to 8s or 9s. Are they going to show enough? Are they trustworthy enough of really having a poor season? But this is an opportunity. This is an out of the blue, outside chance at Europe to salvage their season. And this used to be a perennial top 5 European team, didn't it? So we will see with Sevilla. Mirandes, are they going to be waking up? They have the potential to get automatically promoted to the big time if they can score a goal or score the next goal. Just the one shot on target. Just the one shot on target so far. 5 shots off target. Good pressure. I like that. Secondary pressure. But just the 2 corners. This has got a target on its back. 109, 106. This has got a target on its back for 90th minute. Given the history between these, or the recent history. So we're going to have to sit on our hands, I think, for any plays late on. Huge motivation. Can you imagine automatically promoted, saving yourself the heartache of the playoffs? Allsvenskan. Not going to get hugely interested in it just yet. We survived the last Allsvenskan play with a break even. I'll be looking more at targeting Djurgården, I think. Now that Chelsea have got rid of them, got rid of that distraction, I think that Djurgården are going to start picking up points and could go on a little run now. They should be a top 3, top 4 side. They're a little bit down the table after 6 matches, simply because of that European run. So they're one for your notebook this summer, Djurgården, that's for sure. So, not getting much from these peripheral leagues. That's why I do implore you to have a look at tennis this summer if you want to keep tabs on tennis or on trading. Estac Troyes against Amiens. Well, we know all about the second half. We've got our teams. So it doesn't matter about in-play stats. As long as it's in a match that you're interested in. So let's pick up the in-play stats for matches we're interested in French Ligue 2. Yes, that is deserved. We have an out. I should have got involved again, really. I was well up for taking on Marienham 2-1 lead, but I don't want to compound further losses. So we're with the right team today. So we do have a small loss on the draw. We're going to have to sit on that. Okay, it's far better than 39 quid loss. And we're still alive for the chance of a 30 quid profit, but we're still alive. Marienham, as you saw, got that win against Forth. So they can be a thorn in the side, but they do look gettable against the top four despite scoring 2 goals. We're in with a shout here. Good stuff. Oh, we didn't get that. 3-2, alas. Cercle Brugge. That was the delay, the suspend. But that's where you lay at low odds. Just not turn up. Some reason. That, I suppose, add that to that. And now you get a reason why you got that. Relegation favourite in the bottom half of the league. So dodge pot territory throughout. Into Turku, be looking for that win now. They're going the long way around it, aren't they? We're suffering a loss on that draw, but it's far better than suffering a 2-1 Marienham defeat. We still have a shout with Inter. They are the form side, as you've seen. They are pressuring that goalkeeper. We've got to have a look at the stats here. They're just not 100% on the guru. So we are in with a shout here. Legbo got the pen. I'll take a pen from Legbo. Come on, Legbo, mate. Can you get the winner? Again, we can have a look at the in-play stats. Should be leaning towards the right throughout. 12 total shots, 3 on. 2 big chances. That's more like it. 4 corners. Corner count starting to improve. Do we have a winner? Come on, can we turn that 12 into a profit? Touches in the opposition box, 22-6. That is a really good indicator, isn't it? And goalkeeper saves just the 1, but 27 clearances to 4. That's nice pressure on that defence. Can we get that Desmond ending? Come on, the Inter Turku. They've got a good chance this year. Don't forget, if they don't win the title, they've got a good shout at European football. For a side like that, an absolute gift. Absolutely dominant throughout. So caught with their pants down, having equalised, because it was a very quick equaliser. 6 shots on, 19 in total. So we're going to be very unlucky to come out of here with a draw and a small loss on said draw. So we've already got our sides to look forward to in Veikkausliiga. And they're just at the top of the tree. KUPS, SJK and Inter Turku. Watch out for possible improvement from HJK Helsinki. And that's your summer sorted out in Finland. You can see we're going to get a good run for our money. Turn it into a win, please. Man City, we're getting now to the time period where they're going to score. Don't forget they scored 84th minute against, was it Fulham or Everton? Or was it Nottingham Forest? I don't know. The recent 2-0 win, 84th minute was the first goal, 90th was the second. This lot conceding in the 90th minute. So get your Southampton-Man City matchup. Are you going to be laying the draw now? Or are you going to be looking for a late winner? We're going to try to get 90th plus minutes. It is, don't forget, Southampton could really do Chelsea a solid here by keeping Man City out. This is must-win territory. It's 90 minutes conceding all the time. 1.73, perfect for laying over 0.5 goals if I had done it, because it would have been very, very short in the first half, laying over 1.5 goals. Whoa, you would have got very decent 1.17 or something like that. We got the Mirandes goal. If you did lay the draw there, did you lay the draw, Mirandes? I hope so. Personally, I try to get on late and I do miss out on all of these opportunities, but talk about a story. So let me know if you did get in with Mirandes. That is the kind of team you're looking for. Automatic promotion chance with 3 points. Huge pressure on that draw. So if you did, I think that might have been the one I laid over 0.5 goals in. So I did say I would have a look at 70th minute, and the Bar Stewards got in on the 69th. I think this is the one where I laid over 0.5 goals to show you. Certainly one, that draw is vulnerable. Holston Kiel and Freiburg, again, a very good story for laying the draw there. Did I lay over 1.5 goals? Yes, indeed I did. What a pity. What a pity. What was the lowest draw odds here that I could have got? No, let's have a look down here. About evens. So you're going to get double your money minus the insurance premium of £5. So 15 quid return there, just for that very modest 20. Had I not distracted myself. Man City, we know. I'm just going to remind Telegrammers and remind you as well. Man City must win today. Chelsea still have a chance of getting the Champions League spot. Southampton have conceded the 90th plus minute goal, or had one, in 5 of the last 6 matches. Man City have scored 2 plus goals in the 90th plus minute, or scored in the 90th plus minute in 2 of the last 3 matches. Lay that draw as late as you can. The pressure is coming for City, isn't it? I had this one all set up nicely. I hope you remembered Mirandes. It's half the reason why I'm here, just to give you these little nuggets, even if I don't follow through myself. Wow. 3.4 about City. They know the 90th minute habit. Oh, you're going to get involved now. 1.52. You're going to wait. 3.3. You could start dipping your toe in if you fancied it. But the liability will start rising the earlier you get involved. That's the negative element. 4.5 goals, of course, hasn't got a shout now. That's why you keep the liability at £3.66. If they had ignited second half, we know. But now we've got the 90th minute angle. Are you going to lay at 90th minute, at 90 minutes? Small lay, small back perhaps, just start increasing the position. But don't forget, it's a 1 to 2. So it's quite a high liability start building up at 1.51. The later the better. You're going to look at that 90 minute habit for both teams ending. 114 normally heralds a goal. When are we going to get it? When are we going to get it? When are you going to get involved? Are you going to get involved? So we're waiting for a rather, should be an inevitable City breakthrough late on, because it's a whole heap of bother for Man City. An unexpected win doesn't eventuate, and Saints fans will be delighted if they can act as spoilers. You can see brewing up nicely with Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. 261, 234, 567, can still get them. These two, you're not going to be moved yet. You've got the league phase. They're all in the league phase, so they don't benefit from getting points above. But a little bit of an aberration for City. May not cost them. But Nottingham Forest just gone off the boil, so may not cost them today. But certainly with that 90th minute habit, that draw is going to be gettable whenever you fancy it. The later the better. You can get rid of that now. What a pity. Mirandes called that one. And if you did lay the draw, this is effectively a flat liner, isn't it? The odds you've laid the draw at, you can probably back out at, because the wrong team has scored first. That's the beauty, I suppose, of a neutral play with a red card. The draw odds are not going to go mental because the 10 men have scored. Just waiting for Manchester City. All the while we wait, all the while the draw odds get lower and lower. But we do know that Southampton 90th minute record is still there. So it could reward those of you who wait the longest. Starting to rise nicely as well with every second. 4.9, 4-1. So even, just having a small position here in case they do pull it off. Highly likely Man City will be the sole scorer, so you're going to get a slightly better return, only marginally, on Man City. You can also start laying the draw and then favour Man City as we work our way down and hope that 90th minute stat comes in. But as we've learnt, it's not a huge must win. It's a put it out of harm's way Champions League place. They get the 3 points, that's for sure. So every moment we wait, the draw odds get lower for the draw, bigger for Man City. Hopefully, we can find ourselves with an increased position on City, and we'll still find ourselves with a break even on Saints if we keep laying the draw. So I've got to wait. 1.25 you can start if you want a risk of a tenner. You can start laying at 1.25. I used to do this called drip laying back in the day. If you're willing to take a £10 risk, start at 1.25 to win a tenner. 1.19 to win a tenner. 1.14 to win a tenner. And 1.09. I think it's about 13 quid. Keep it about a quid. And 1.06. We'll put that up to about 17. So it's a quid liability there. So there we go. Drip laying. So we've got a continuous run down. The lower the liability, the more you can ask for. So let's just see if Man City pull it off. Let's see if the 90-minute stat will hold firm. We've got our positions set in now. Inter and Maringham, well, we've got away with that. 2-2. Gentle warning to you, we've taken on 2 of our summer leagues today. We've got out of it with a marginal loss on Inter's draw. So a little bit early in the season. And gentle reminder to you, playing dead rubbers. Looked all over like Wolves were going for the equaliser, didn't it? Don't get involved. If you do get involved, you've only got yourself to blame. Playing dead rubbers. Look at this, Sevilla. Just a bit of an Arthur Daly side, aren't they? Can you trust this lot? Seriously. Well, if you wanted to lay, at least you're going to get odds on rather than laying the draw as it was. Or, well, no, you can't lay the draw. You'd be laying Celta, wouldn't you? 1.44. But didn't turn up after the red card. Just that single shot on target. 2 shots off. No concerted pressure. Awful recent run. But it was an absolute Christmas gift. Gift-wrapped opportunity to go for Europe. Salvage an awful season. Real pity. Let's have a look at where the Man City match lies. We're £9 liability now. If you want to do extremely delay, I always recommend getting involved at 1.09 and 1.06. 1.09 to win £23, £2 liability. 1.06 to win 32, £2 liability. £53 return to a £4 liability. Slightly better than the outlay here. So you'd make a very decent return if you get the late winner. So we've learnt a little bit too late that this wasn't an absolute must-win for City, was it really? It would have been nice to have got a win to cement the Champions League spot. You can see the bookies there, 109. Wow. So Celta Vigo, Sevilla, no great interest. I think I'll start wrapping it up now. So I'll be involved on Telegram for you for the second half, but we'll be involved a lot later in the second halves. And I don't think I can trust Sevilla to get an equaliser. Heerenveen draw should be vulnerable, but they've just been red carded, so that knocks the stuffing out of that. So I think that's about it. French Ligue 1 will be of interest later on. Thanks very much for coming along. Have a great day, and I'll see you members on Telegram a little bit later for the French.